another one?
You got a 10 pounder.
You got a 5
Just
pounder.
take your time.
Well, that's a nice one.
This is the In Deep on the Delta weekly fishing report. We're going to call this the Christmas report because next Thursday, guess what? It is December 25th, that's Christmas Day, and I'm going to take a day off from doing the report. With that being said, if something happens out here, if the bite breaks wide open, I'm going to find out about it, and I will be filming a report next Thursday, Christmas Day. Now, if that happens, we're going to call it the Christmas Miracle Report because right now, the fishing's not that great and I don't think it's going to change a whole lot in the next week. So with that, let's take a look at a few pictures. I've got a lot of information for you on this week's report. We'll get into that in just a minute. Let's check it out. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. You're watching In Deep on the Delta. This is the weekly fishing report for the week of December 18th. Let's start off with a little river business. First thing I'd like to talk about is for those boat owners out there, make sure you are up to date on your registration, your boat registration and your mussel stickers. If the new registration color is blue, if you have the old red ones on your boat, those are going to be out of date starting January 1st and you will be out of compliance. So make sure you've got your new registration and mussel stickers in line. We got a couple videos, or I've got a couple videos that I did with Rob Cloutier from out at the Bass Hole. We dropped one last Tuesday. That's a video that Rob talked about essential bass fishing rods and reel combos that you need here on the California Delta. Next Tuesday we're going to drop another video that has to do with winter baits, and then I hopefully before the first of the year I'll have one other video out that I'm going to be talking about some baits, special baits that I want to share with you guys that I think are going to be very useful coming up for next spring. And write this date down. Saturday, January 3rd, Rob is going to have a sale out there. I will be out there all day. Rob's going to have some special guests out there. And this is going to give you guys the opportunity to come out to the Bass Hole Tackle Shop. If you haven't met Rob yet, go in there and talk to Rob. For sure, if you're watching In Deep on the Delta, please come out, say hi. I want to put some faces to the names of the people that I've been corresponding with through my YouTube channel. And it's just going to be a good time to get out. New Year's sale, you'll get good prices on everything. Everything we talk about in the videos will be on sale. Hold the rod and reels in your hand, look at the baits. Good chance to get out there and talk to people and get information on questions that you might have. And building on that, this is the time of year, it's a little slow, you know, Christmas time, it's tough fishing out here, especially for bass anglers. The striper season is kind of winding down. I want to just urge everyone to support your local bait shops. We talk about Rob out at the Bass Hole on Bethel Island all the time. We've got Central Valley Bait and Tackle in Modesto. We've got the Outdoor Sportsman here in Stockton. They've got not only a great fishing counter, but a great gun counter. Fisherman's Warehouse now has, I think, four locations in Fairfield, Sacramento, Manteca, and Rockland. We got Coyote Bait and Tackle out in San Jose. These are local shops that have good local knowledge, and this is the time of year it gets slow. You can go in there and you can talk to the owners. They'll show you what they got. If you have questions, you got a little more time to just sit around and get information and have kind of an informational exchange at the local bait shops. The Sacramento ISE show is coming up January 15th through the 18th. I am hoping to be out there again with Fisherman's Warehouse. I'll hopefully be there all 4 days, and we'll meet some of you guys out there again at the ISE show. With that, let's get into some some of the reports, the actual lake reports, and nothing is on fire. It's you can go across the board. I wish I had better information or not better information. I just better news for you as the bite goes. So let's talk about Clear Lake, and it's okay. It's not great. Some of the guys that are fishing big baits out there are starting to catch some big fish. It's been colder than heck. Mornings have been approaching that low 20s. Or excuse me, low 30s, high 20s. It is brutally cold out there. I guess the bright spot right now for Clear Lake is that there's just the crappie bite is really starting to come on. So if you're a crappie guy, or maybe even a bass guy, if you go up there, you probably might want to do a multi-species trip up there. Bass fishing has been a little bit slow. They're going to have some rain coming out. I think I talked to them Tuesday, and the storm that we're going to be having down here was coming in up there. They're starting to get some rain, so things are going to change. If you want up-to-date information, call Clear Lake Outdoors, and that's at 707-262-5852, and you can get the local information or the up-to-date local information. What's going on up at Don Pedro? Well, I talked to Aaron out at Clear Lake, out at Central Valley Bait and Tackle. I got a chance to go up there and fish with Christian last week. I'll talk about that in just a minute. But from what I saw and what Aaron was talking about, we pretty much conferred that, again, I would call it just fair up there. The fish are spread out all over the lake, and I think maybe more than any other lake that I know of, it really helps to have local knowledge. Now, when I say that, yeah, it always helps to have local knowledge on any lake that you are on. But let's say you go up to Clear Lake. Maybe you don't fish up there a lot. There's a lot of target fishing you can do. There's docks, there's rock ledges, there's tules. There's lots of things that you can build from past experience and move around the lake and get yourself into some fish. When you go up to Don Pedro, there's not a lot of, hey, that looks good, that looks great. It's all rock. There's a lot of deep fish out there. This time of year especially, you kind of have to know the lake to figure out where you're going to get started. And for those who do not have local lake knowledge, it's almost, I'm going to say, it's just really nice to have good electronics, good mapping, and forward-facing sonar. If you know what you're doing with your electronics, you can figure out Don Pedro a lot quicker than just going out and trying to sight fish. So with that, the fish are spread out. A lot of the fish are deep, between about, I'll say 35 and 50 feet deep. There are a few fish on the bank, but those are fish that are going to be, I'm not going to say tough to catch, but you're going to have to really work hard for those shallow fish right now. So Don Pedro is just fair to good. The trout fishing up there should be excellent. When Christian and I were up there, I think we caught a couple of nice trout, and we had several trout come up and follow our bass lures back to the boat. So I'm thinking if you were up there trout fishing, you'd probably do pretty good. Or if I was going to go back up, which I'm planning on going back up maybe after the storm, I think I'm going to throw a Castmaster around there just because I know I can catch bass, and I can probably pick up some really nice trout. So that's Don Pedro. If you're going up there and you want to call Aaron for up-to-date information out at Central Valley Bait and Tackle, give him a call at 209-312-9417. Let's talk about a lake that I haven't talked a whole lot about, but I have been getting some reports, and I think this lake is fishing as good or better than anything in the Central Valley, and that's Oroville Lake. But I got a report from Bill. He had a great day out there with Joe from Bass Union. I'm going to try to get a hold of Joe from Bass Union and talk to Joe, and maybe I can get Joe on here, talk about what's going on up at Oroville. And I know Joe's one of the great guides up there. He's probably wouldn't mind having you up there, showing you around on what's going on with Oroville. So hopefully we'll talk a little bit more about Lake Oroville. Before we get into the Delta, I've got a short clip that I did with Christian Ostrander. Christian's going to talk about what he's been doing, a little bit more about Don Pedro. Then we'll get right into the Delta report. All right, my special guest this week is none other than Christian Ostrander, and no one better to talk about Don Pedro. Last week you won a tournament up here. You invited me up here today. We had a great day. So maybe, Christian, this is the In Deep on the Delta Weekly Report. I know you've been fishing the Delta. Talk a little bit about the Delta, your last couple trips, then we'll get into talking about Don Pedro.
Well, Delta's pretty tough. You know, I try not to guide out there at all this time of year. You know, you're not catching too much. When I take people out, I want to have an exciting day, learn as well as catch some fish. I'm trapping some fish. I'm jerk baiting some. I'm A-rigging a few, and Senkoing, and that's basically it. So not too crazy of a bite on the Delta. We're fishing real shallow, you know, that 3 to 10 foot, or we're fishing quite a bit deep, so 40 to 55. So a lot of guys, you know, aren't trying to fish that deep or trying to fish that shallow. So you got to move around just like we did today. You know, we moved around quite a bit, and Coop caught a big fish. Coop caught a 6-pounder today. So on a drop shot.
Somebody comes up here and let's say they know the lake, but this is not their home body of water. They want to come up. They want to catch a few fish. Let them know what they should be doing, you know, coming out. Should they start in deep water? Should they hug the bank? Should they go into coves? What should they throw? How should they go about breaking down this lake real quick to just get out winter fishing day and catch a few fish?
Yeah, you know, there's fish everywhere on Pedro. Every single point, every hump, you name it, rock, tree, whatever. There's lots of fish. So big deal's looking at your live scope. You know, if you don't have live scope, you're not in the game right now. So you point that scope around and see if the fish are active on your bait. And if they're not caring about it, then it's probably time to move, because most likely your next spot or the next spot, they're going to be looking at your bait. They're going to want to be active on it. You know, water temp's 55 degrees. You know, that's not that cold. Delta's 49 degrees. You know, so this place is way warmer. These fish are active, and they're feeding. So these fish are big and fat, man. They're biting.
Yeah, and I know you're busy through the remainder of the year. You're going to have a little trip back east here coming up. What's going to happen when you come back to California? I know you're stationed right down in at the Delta. Let them know what you're going to be doing. I'll say after the first of the year, how they can get a hold of you.
I just want to stick to Don Pedro and Clear Lake. That's it. You know, if you want to go look at your electronics on Berryessa and we go in your boat, awesome, we can do that. I've been having some great electronic trips. If you have if your boat is set up correctly, we're going to have a great day. I'm going to show you everything about your boat and how your graphs are set up, and we're going to whack some fish as well. So it's real important, though, having the right stuff on your boat. So that, and yeah, Clear Lake, there's some stuff coming up there. So I really want to stick it out up there. Guys aren't catching a lot of fish, but they're getting some big ones. So would love to take people up there and show you how I break Clear Lake down. I mean, that's one of my favorite places. So, but here as well. So I've been so fortunate, been able to guide a bunch on Don Pedro, and every single day we crush them. It doesn't change. We crush them. We move around. We catch 3s. We catch 4s. We catch 5s.
Why don't you give them your number so that if they want to call you, they can ask you some questions or get something set up.
Absolutely. Give me a call or shoot me a text. My phone number is 209-648-3778, or look me up, Instagram, Facebook, Christian Ostrander Fishing. Shoot me a text. Would love to get you guys out here, man. We've been having nothing but fun.
All right, I want to thank Christian for giving us that report. All right, Delta stripers, man, I hate to say it, but it's pretty much, I think it's pretty much petering out. Got a few reports. A few people are catching a fish here and there. William, kayak angler, sent me a report from Big Break, and he fished for about 3 hours. He picked up 5 fish. He had some topwater fish. And I got to show you again this striper that I showed at the beginning of the report. Just a beautiful, beautiful specimen of a fish, man. Clean, bright, just a beautiful fish. So again, William, thanks for that report, but it's getting tough. I talked to Joey Price. I've got some pictures from Joey in his last trip with a couple of clients. He had to work so hard for those fish, and I asked Joey, I said, so, you know, can I tell people you're still going to be fishing stripers? He said, you know, I don't think so. It's just we're having to work too hard. He had to go way out west, caught some fish, worked hard for them. He said, you know, for the guys that are fishing the bay, Sassoon, South San Francisco, Grizzly, you know, out far west, you're going to be able to catch some fish. But right now, the stripers just aren't going on out here. It's tough. As tough as the stripers are, it's probably just as tough or tougher when it comes to largemouth bass. I talked to Rob this morning and just to see if anything was coming up through he's got anything coming through the shop. It's been really dead. Rob mentioned to me his last trip out, he got blanked. Made me feel good because the last trip I went out on, I only fished for 2 hours and I got 2 bites. I didn't hook either one of those bites, and what I'm finding is that the bites that I'm getting, and I am getting maybe 1 bite an hour, they're just not picking up the baits. You know, you're getting a bam, bam, it's a definite bite. I've been fishing worms in plastics, fishing them slow along the bottom in about 5 to 8 feet of water. And every now and then one comes up and pops it, but they're just not grabbing it. I think I told you the last trip I had 2 bites and I didn't land a fish. I think before that, I had several bites, and I think I landed 1 fish out of the bites that I had. They're just not eating right now. We've got some rain coming in. We've got 49-degree water temps out here. I wouldn't doubt that that's going to drop a little bit. The river is in great shape, and you know what? This is the time of year that the river kind of heals up a little bit. It doesn't have a bunch of tournaments on it. There's not a lot of people fishing out here. The fish have a chance to burrow down and just relax. They're going to start feeding soon, hopefully after the first of the year. We'll see if we can't get into some kind of good winter bite out here, and if it's out here, we'll let you guys know. But for right now, it is tough. If you come out, whether you catch fish, whether you don't catch any fish, please send me a report, even if it's, hey, Steve, I beat my head against the wall for 5 hours and I didn't get a bite. I need that report from you. So with that, I want to, again, wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and thank you guys for watching. We will take a break next week. I will have a couple videos that I will be dropping before that and through the Christmas holiday season, so stay tuned to In Deep on the Delta. Merry Christmas. Have a great Christmas season, holiday. Hopefully you get out here and get a little fishing in. If you do, send me a report. Thanks for watching. Be safe. Bye-bye.